What's going on, everybody? It's Childish back at it again, coming at you with another Summoner's War video. In today's video, we wake you up with a Monday morning alarm clock to give you guys the up-and-coming Monster Battle patch that's going to be hitting here, hopefully really soon here, hopefully before the RTA Season 25 rolls out here. So yeah, guys, if you guys are excited to just see a Summoner's War Sky Arena video, can you guys show your support? Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, hit the notification bell so you guys know when the next video drops, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you guys are in for a treat. But, I mean, let's just put it out there, right? We already knew what was going to happen, and let's just kind of see what they sprinkle on top of it. So, again, the two units that we're just outrageously discussing, which let's just talk about the first units outrageously discussing. The Water Hollyberry, aka Manon, aka Macaroon card, all that stuff, yeah. Big adjustment there on the stun rate for that passive, being able to counterattack there with a 50% rate and having a 100% activation on the stun rate. Now cut in half, and that ability there is going to be down. The damage is going to be reduced to 22%. So again, good nerf overall. Again, it's still going to be toxic, right? Not super reliable, but still can do damage, still has a chance of stun. So good adjustment overall. I do like the change on that. Molly, Light Mermaid, which is kind of surprising to me because, again, I know that you guys are like, how could it be surprising to you because of the fact of how strong it is? Well, it really wasn't like it's always been a good unit, but obviously it definitely became stronger with units, paired it up with like Jinzei and Water Hollyberry and stuff like that here. But that being said, like the adjustment that they made when it comes to the passive effect, I don't really think it's all too bad. I guess this just kind of takes away her stronger ability to kind of solo at the very end because of the fact that she can try to glance on that. But overall, I mean, I think the adjustment's fine. And, if they're still going to be bringing a ton of AoE, you're still going to get a little bit of value, a good amount of value on this one here. So, yeah, not too bad. Dark Onimusha, though, this one actually surprised me. Didn't think it was outrageously strong. His damage was great, but I didn't think it was needed to be nerfed. But maybe they saw SWC, or is that SWC? Maybe they saw this last tournament here in the Americas. So much like, whoa, this thing almost, one shot or whatever. But, again, not really happy, but I feel kind of bad for the people that have Dark Onimusha. I feel like that nerf was needed, or if anything, if they thought it was a little too strong, if they had damage reduction, was a little bit too high, similar to the Dark Desert Queen, attacks the enemy, and silence the enemy for one turn. Now it's down to 60% chance with an 80% activation. And again, I mean, it's not like a huge change, but I guess, well, I mean, it is a huge change, but let's put it this way. Like, it's an LD5. It's supposed to be annoying, disgusting, toxic, whatever like that. Like, I'm actually surprised they did that. Like, I didn't really see the reason in that, but hopefully some of you guys are in the comments down below can say, like, no, this is why, XYZ, this is why it happened here. So, Assassin's Creed units, I got the buff here. I know people were kind of going back and forth about, if they're going to do it this time or they're going to wait. They needed to do it, as soon as possible. Again, all of us are going out of our way to some of these units and putting it in the, putting most of them on the, the bench. So, I mean, the fact that they kind of adjusted it makes it, makes it good. And now we can actually utilize them and see if they're going to be able to, be useful, right? So Fire Ezio, a little bit of change here, an additional improvement here on the ignored enemy's defense here. So that's kind of good considering the conditional part. Let's see, Water Ezio, Water Light Ezio distraction. I do like this ability here. That threat that they put on it now has a counterattack. So again, you're going to get a lot more value out of unit, especially if it has like a toxic stun-like kind of a skill 1 there to potentially stun them. And I was like, okay, so we took away your Water Hollyberry ability to stun, but now if you're bringing Water Light Ezio or Altair, now you got yourself that pretty much back here. But I will say this, like they had to do something when it comes to this Altair unit, right? Because really nobody was going out of the way to build it. They have to make this somewhat viable here. So Dark Ezio, though, additional attack on your turn always ends at a critical hit. Okay, so a little bit more DPS. For all three of these, Fire, Wind, and Water, decreasing the attack bar has now been improved there on that Nimble Assault, which is obviously really good. Light Ezio, Air Assassination, cooldown has been decreased of 1 turn, enemy dies, which is great, because I feel like the Light Ezio, Light Altair, even though they're two different units, and, there's too many skills that are kind of similar in nature, right? So I'm glad they're making an adjustment to make Light Ezio, like, worth building. Fire Bayek, decrease the enemy's defense for 2 turns with a 50% chance. That's good. We can always use a couple of extra defense breaks. Water and Light Bayek, though, decreases the attack bar by just a smidgen more, right? So that's good as well. Not really a big change for Wind Bayek here for this improved continuous damage, unless this is the one that has the ability to, like, boy, I think that's Ivor, though. I think that's Ivor, if I recall correctly. So Yeah, never mind, never mind. Okay, so let's take a look at the Dark Bake here. Dark Bake Eagle Deception removes one beneficial effect of being stunned from the enemy by an eagle. Okay, okay, that's additional effect is good on that. Hero Strike though, little small improvement on the damage. Again, I don't know. I know I had the Fire one built it, but I could not see. I think the overall damage for me really was non-existent because of the fact that I didn't have it skilled up, so I couldn't see a whole lot of change there. Water Ivor now, we got the change on the passive. What do we got here? So condition has been mitigated. I'm going to actually pull this one up here on this side because I do want to see this. As you guys can tell, with some of the Assassin's Creed units here, I don't have all their skills and abilities memorized, right? So Might of the Clan passive grants up to 3 effects, which again, this is one of the more popular units that came out of the gate there. Once this one dropped here, you can have attack power, defense, or the attack speed. So the interesting thing about this is the required condition for your stats to activate the passive effect is going to be changing now. So here's the question though. It's not mentioning what were the conditions to have. Well, okay, according to your stats, right? So you have to have a certain amount of stats, right, to get it. Okay, yeah, okay. So yeah, interesting. So I'm curious to see what kind of if somebody knows the reduction. If it is a reduction, because they don't really say if it's a reduction improvement here, let us know in the comment section down below. I'd be curious to hear about that. I feel like they could have put a little bit more information on that. Yeah, I don't know why. Anyways, though, Fire and Light Ivor, Harpoon Impalement decreases the attack bar, has now been switched to Absorb Attack Bar, which is actually a really, really strong change. Obviously, you guys know in the turn-based game, any opportunity to get yourself a reduction on the attack bar for the opponent is great, but to be able to absorb it and potentially get that next turn faster, that's going to be really, really good. The question is, does the rest of the Fire and Light Ivor kit still make it, usable here? Yeah. Dark Totemus, nice little change here for the provoke the 2 turns. That's going to be disgusting for the 0.00%. Well, 0.002% of people that have it. Dark Howl, whoa. Decrease the skill cooldown of attack if by 2 turns if Chacha and friends fails to switch the attack bar. What is going on right now? I guess I'm gonna have to. I might have to build this one. What is this? I don't know. For me personally, I obviously haven't been messing around with Dark Howl amongst like a lot of people there, but I'm curious to see now. Take a look at that change here, if it's going to be viable or not. Coming up here on the Fire Pudding Presses or Pure Vanilla Cookie, super excited about these changes because I think overall they did a pretty good job with them. The Fire one here, attack bar increase in effect, grant allies increased by 30% each. This was strong when paired with obviously units that provide attack bar boost, but now this has this like Tian Lang kind of effect, where now that when the opponent attack bar decreases, it's going to be decreased by 40%. So I guess that's good. At the end of the day, if you're utilizing it to go alongside a combo that is bringing in a lot of attack bar in there, and obviously it's really popular right now, so it's big in the meta. So that is a nice change here. Nonetheless. Let's go. Wind Pudding Princess here. Reflect damage. It's going to be reflects 30 to 50% to the shield. Okay. That'll be good. And then Water Pudding Princess, a sealed magic scoop of pudding. Skill tool cooldown increased by 1 turn. So again, this one here, I actually own Adriana. So I am excited about that because I feel like this particular kit, outside of the buffs, right? This ability right here, it's simply just a Oblivion, right? So now we get a 100% uptake on the Oblivion, right? It's going to be a 2-turn skill with the Oblivion. So I think that is really, really good because of the fact that we already got units in the game that have passive Oblivion, right? So it's this be able to cast this a little bit more and utilize it in your lineup as an option to counter all the passes that are currently coming in the meta. Definitely like that change for sure. I got it, so I'm going to be using it even more. Let's see here. The Fire, Wind, and Light one shield amount has been improved by 5% here, going from 15 to 20. We'll take it. Fire Valkyrie, though, Vanessa getting a chance to now strip 1 beneficial effect. So this is kind of unique. I do see this one potentially coming back, especially considering some of the combinations and some of the slower teams. Some of these turn 2 teams that come back here. This definitely could be a candidate to come back and having that additional, stripping, on the ability. And these guys, have the ability to potentially, reduces skill time. It's a lot of low chances for stuff, but it's still good nonetheless here. Water one gets the freeze effect added. The light one gets the glancing added as well for 2 turns. So pretty cool, pretty cool. Water Dragonite Chow trying to come back from the dead. I do see a lot of people use it still on the side, but you know, it is a selfish unit nonetheless here. I am surprised that they actually, and this is going to sound weird, I'm surprised that they actually reduced the HP recovery by 10%. But I do think that was warranted given the fact of how strong it is to remove 2 harmful effects here. So I do like that change. I just don't know if it's going to be enough to like make people want to use it all too much on like RTA side, unless it's like just a hard counter to, you know, last pick hard counter that, you know, what they currently see. But I definitely could see this more for Guild Wars, for Siege, for sure. I think that'd be a strong candidate as well, since you can kind of utilize him in a situation to where you can take advantage of it because you're, you know, picking the team you're going to be going up against. So I do like that change here. Light Dragonite, effect that it increases the enemy's chances of landing the glancing for 1 turn with counterattacking. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I do like that. Light the Colt Girl, getting a nice little change here and switching over to max HP and defense, provided a defense buff before doing the AoE. So this is nice because now you just get a little bit more value, a little bit more damage. I'm curious to see what the damage scaling is going to be on this one. So we'll have to see down the road when we test this one out. Fire Monkey King is getting a nice change as well. Instead of waiting for a unit to hit it, now it's going to be just triggering off, kind of like the water, not Animusha. Yeah, water Animusha just triggers off at the end of the turn. So this is very, very good change, simply for the fact that, you know, units like this in the lineup are generally avoided unless they're, you know, rocking the AoE abilities or whatnot here. So again, that's a nice change here to make his passive get up there and be more viable. So curious to see how that one plays out when it comes to the upcoming season. Fire Panda Warrior, a nice little change on skill 3 here, now providing damage based on the defense and increasing the overall damage based on how many harmful effects are granted on the enemy. So for those of you guys that want to get a little bit more value out of your R5 runs, you're going to get it. It's not going to be a crazy amount of damage here, but it is going to be a little bit, in addition to that, going to be definitely a little bit more useful for Guild Wars, for Siege. I do like the change nonetheless. I do like the change. Wind Cannon Girl though, Rolling Cannon, getting a little bit of a change here on that. I think it's a skill 4. Going from a single target, like a single hitting ability to multi-hitting, and now we have the chance to put the Oblivion effect. So this is really, really cool because of the fact that obviously, you know, having another unit to provide Oblivion is really great. But remember, this is an AoE ability and it's dependent on the number of allies alive. So you can do a good amount of damage on this one and potentially, you know, snipe a unit from, you know, whatever their passive effect provides you. If they got some kind of passive that keeps them alive for whatever reason, this is going to be really, really good. You know, like this is essentially like another Theo killer, another Nana killer, right? This is actually really, really good, really, really beneficial. I'm actually genuinely excited about how people may utilize this. Is it going to be enough? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, anyways, Madeline cookies across the board. A little bit of changes on the attack bars. We got the recovery. Let's take a look here. Wind Dark, chance of activating all harmful effects by 50% to 70%. I mean, yeah, that is a nice little improvement here. Madeline Cookie Light one. I do not have this one, but I do like the change. I think even though it's a sense, you know, by 2 turns with 50% chance, I think oh, you know what? Now I'm not too sure here. I wonder if that, if there's any kind of skill up here for the activation, because that would be interesting to see if that can go up a little bit. Let me take a look to see what we got going on. I apologize in advance. You know, normally I would do a little bit of checking in on the units before we get rolled out here. But it does, yeah, I obviously it's like 6 in the morning, didn't get a chance to do that. Just got up, try to make this video here. So take a look at Family Glory. I know you guys can see it down there. It's pretty small here, but no skill ups will go into this one. So 50% chance stance. So yeah, and that's to be expected here because I think early on in the list they had the, you know, talk about like, you know, it can improve the changes from 60 to 80% with regards to Nephthys. So I kind of expected it not to be able to change 50%. So yeah, okay. Dark Madeline Cookie here, decrease the attack power enemies, all enemies by 25% each. So again, that is kind of interesting. Yeah, Dark Slayer Knight, AoE ability that increases defense breaks. And okay, so this is actually going to be a fun one here. As you guys see, multi-hit ability, defense break with the attack bar reduction, really, really strong. Could be a unit that kind of like set up your cleave. Base speed is kind of basic, right? So, but either way, that is a nice little change here if you have happened to pull it down the road. Let's see here. Now, speaking of units that are big changes here, I do like this change here on the samurais across the board here. And again, if you guys are relatively new to the game and maybe don't have like a lot of really strong AoE cleavers here, the samurais has always been, a really good, essentially a good AoE unit that Comptos has provided with like HOHs and stuff like that back in the day. A little bit of a change here, right? So it activates on your turn, apply to counterattacks and team up effects and stuff like that, which that makes sense. But now we instantly gain a turn when it is activated. So because of the fact that we can get that, a little bit quicker, or because of the fact that we get an instant turn here, they did adjust the damage, which is warranted. But again, it's still going to be a strong cleave. Like I said, if you've done HOHs or, wait till the anniversaries to be able to get this one, you'll be able to get one of the copies here of the light and dark, and they're both really good. Really good damage here. Decrease the attack bar for Water Samurai here, moving up from 50% to 100% chance on the charging slash. And then last but not least, Wind Samurai, getting a change on that Thunder Wield, now having an added effect of steals all beneficial effects from a target, which is actually pretty surprising. So again, I want to take a look at this one once again, because I don't recall. I believe that is the single target ability here, if I recall correctly. Let's take a look to see where it is at. Of course, I'm trying to think. I'm looking at the bottom of the list to see where it is coming here, but let's take a look. So Thunder Wield attacks the enemy with lightning speed, putting the target skills on cooldown, and it increases the damage according to the attack speed. So again, fast unit, building it up, has a high chance of getting the activation. I do like that. And let's see here. It is steals all beneficial. So that's really interesting, right? It steals the bet. I mean, this is kind of whoa. Wait a minute. Yo, we just got a budget. We just got a budget segment. Is this my one to watch? Because he already has the ability to reset. Wow, we literally just got a 4-star segment. That is actually really crazy. So, I mean, obviously we got a lot of units that we're, generally excited about, but this one here, as a 4-star unit, definitely excites me. Now, let's take a step back here on this one, because I think some people forget about the fact that this one here, obviously the overall kit is really good, but the fact that it's 4-star gives you a reason to build it up to utilize it for Siege. 4-star Siege, having the ability to strip and reset, really strong. So I see this going way up in the list from D tier to S tier, being able to be utilized here. Maybe not so much for the value of the damage per se, but definitely for the aspect of stripping and resetting. Wow, dude! Like this is my underdog. This is my dark horse here. Genuinely excited about this change here. It's funny, it's rare that they leave the last one to be good. Again, maybe I'm not, reading out something. I apologize. There's always somebody in the chat that's like, oh, you didn't read the thing. You don't know what's going on. Hey, it's too early in the morning to try to read everything for 2 hours and get up on here and do this. I'm just trying to get that video out as much as possible. And after everything that I've read, there's a couple of changes that are good and bad. But this one here, for a unit that's that recently got like a fluff buff, right? This actually is way better than people. Or to put it like this, literally brings back the samurais. They are literally going to have people come out of the woodwork to build this one up and take advantage of it. Wow, that's actually really good. So a couple of changes here on the stats with regards to some of these units here, Light Ivor and Dark Valkyrie respectively. Good changes here on the battle ranges, making them a little bit more stronger here by means of the critical rate for the fire and of course attack speed for wind. Really good change in the wind battle angel, considering the fact of how his kit works here and how it's based on speed. They needed to make that change. I see a lot of people utilizing this a little bit more here. So nice little leader skill asset to the assassins here, but overall, I mean, if they didn't have a leader skill, I don't think anyone would be down. We got so many units now with added leader skills, like it's all good either way. Outside of that, guys, a couple of error fixes, but yeah, that's going to be it for the video here. A couple of changes down the road, obviously some big nerfs for some of the hyper meta units in this last season, but more importantly, we got a couple of nice little adjustments here to make people think twice before either putting this in their monster storage or, you know, building it up from the ground up, similar to what I said with regards to Wind Samurai. Wind Samurai is my underdog. Wind Samurai, I feel like, is going to get a lot of love here in this upcoming post-balance patch. You guys let me know in the chat down below, which ones are your ones to watch? What are your top 3 units that you're just like, oh my god, these are really good changes here? Can't wait to see when this buff patch comes out and get them using there. So that's going to be it, fam. Thank you all so much for tuning in. It's your boy Childish or ChildishPlays checking out. Take care, and we'll see you all in the next one. I'm out.